Welcome back. It's good to be with you. Now, here's a bit of good news. If you're a diesel user, an app that helps you find cheaper prices. Yes, it is a thing now, and it actually exists. So how does it work? That's the question you might be asking yourself. Personal finance columnist Maya Fisher-French joins us now to share more details about this. Maya, good to have you, and good morning. Now, do the prices between different garages for diesel actually differ enough to make it worth shopping or even driving around?
So I downloaded the app. It's called Pit Stops, and to do exactly that, I have a diesel car. I was very excited in the beginning to see that a BP near me was nearly R1 cheaper than everyone else. So I drove there to discover that actually the app wasn't that accurate. So I thought, okay, in the interests of journalism, I will go and I will check out within a 10-kilometer radius. This is what I did yesterday for you, a 10-kilometer radius, checking the prices. And I have to say the app is actually mostly accurate, except for some reason BP. It just seemed to show BP cheaper than it was. But what I did find, and this was interesting, was as I drove around, I found that if I drove an extra 5 kilometers, there was a Shell coming in at 22.51 rand. So that was quite significantly lower, 90 cents lower than the sort of other petrol stations in my area. And then I thought, okay, so if I wanted to drive that extra 5 kilometers, I'd be set my tank 70 liters. I'd save myself around 63 rand. The petrol would cost me about 20 rand there and back. So I'd be saving 40 rand. So I was doing all the maths. Yeah. But what I found, and this is really worthwhile checking in your neighborhood, I found 2 fuel stations in my neighborhood that actually discount fuel on a Sunday. I don't know why specifically Sunday, but for example, an engine offers 40 cents less on a Sunday, and a Caltex was coming in at 22.75 rand for diesel on a Sunday. And I thought, well, hold on, those are actually quite near the shops that I normally frequent. If I do my shop on a Sunday, I fill up with fuel on a Sunday, I could actually be making some savings. So I think you've got to build it into your normal, perhaps your normal patterns, and check around. So I think you do need to do the maths first. Though I'm not sure if I would drive that extra kilometers for a minimal saving, but if I'm going to be in the area and I can make sure I sort of fill up on a Sunday, that could work. But I have to say, it's not going to take away the sting. I mean, I'm already costing about 1,500 to fill my tank. I don't know what it's going to feel like tomorrow. Yeah,
that unfortunately is the reality, Maya. So what else did you discover while it's exploring and driving between fuel stations?
So the other thing I did, and this was actually quite eye-opening, I set my dashboard dial to instantaneous fuel usage. And this is, so you can actually see exactly how much fuel you're using instantaneously. And you know what was really interesting, and I've heard about this and I read about it, but to actually visually see it is speed. The difference between driving, remember I'm in an urban area, the difference between driving 60 and 80 was phenomenal. I mean, nearly double the fuel consumption. So I would really suggest putting on that instantaneous fuel consumption. You will drive slower. You stick at 60, maybe on the highway at 100, 110 instead of going 120. You're probably going to have a big fuel saving. And of course, it'll save me a lot on speeding fines as well, because I do tend to get those in the 60 zones. So I would say, actually drive the way we drive, the speed we take off from the stop street or traffic lights, that is where we could also be saving.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but this is really worthy advice. Just make sure you don't pile up all those costs over the already unbearable petrol price cost. Thank you so much, personal finance columnist Maya Fisher-French, talking to us there, helping us make sound financial decisions.